In this video, I'm going to do a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to use Coinbase in advanced mode. If you're still relatively new to Coinbase, I do have a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to use the basic version of Coinbase, and I'll be sure to leave a link for that video in the description down below for anyone that might find that helpful. In this video, I'm going to get straight into Coinbase advanced mode. I'll show you how to toggle Coinbase from basic and into advanced, then I'll show you the different market types and pairings, and I'll break down the user interface. After that, I'll show you how you can buy and sell crypto using market orders, limit orders, and how to set up a stop loss. Then I'll show you where you can find all your different trading fees. All of that and more with some tips and tricks along the way. This video is not financial advice. This video is for educational purposes only. Always do your own research before ever using a crypto exchange, including Coinbase. I also left you some timestamps in the description down below, so at any point feel free to skip ahead to a section that might be most relevant to you. Aside from that, don't forget to leave me a like and hit subscribe for future content. Let's get into the video. Before I get started with this tutorial, I'll show you how you can get Coinbase into dark mode. And to get that done, just come up here top right hand side and click on your profile icon. In this drop down, you'll find your theme setting right here. Simply click on this button right here, and that's how you can toggle between light mode and dark mode. And I'll be using dark mode for the duration of this tutorial, but certainly choose a theme that looks best to you. To toggle Coinbase into advanced mode, just come right up here, top right hand side, and click on your profile icon. Then click right here on advanced. And this will toggle Coinbase into advanced mode, where you can use the advanced features to buy and sell crypto. To find your different market types and pairings, just come right up here, top left hand side, and give this button a click. Then you'll get a drop down menu with all your different market types displayed up above, and all the different pairings displayed down below. You can see in my case here that I'm set to USD, USDC. This means that all the pairings displayed down below are quoted in USDC. So if I want to buy a coin using these pairings, I'd need USDC to make the purchase. And if I sold a coin using these pairings, I'd receive USDC for the sale. If I was to come up here and click on BTC, this means that all the pairings down below are now quoted in Bitcoin. So if I want to buy a coin using these pairings, I'd need Bitcoin to make the purchase. And if I sold a coin using these pairings, I'd receive Bitcoin for the sale. So simply choose a market type and a pairing that you wish to trade. Now, in some cases, some pairings may be unavailable to you. You'll notice, for example, if I click here on Euro, then click on BTC, you'll see that I'm getting a notification that says View Only Market. Trading is unavailable for this market. And this is likely due to government regulations. Different governments around the world are going to have different regulations, and this means that some pairings might be unavailable to you, depending on where you're located in the world. If you're getting this notification and you'd like to learn more about it, you can come over here on the far right hand side and click this button where it says Learn More. So for this tutorial, I'll go ahead and click right here. I'll select USD, USDC, and I'll choose Ethereum versus USDC. Now you can see that I changed the pairing to ETH versus USDC. And right here, we have the price action chart, which is showing us an asset's performance over a selected time frame. The price action chart allows traders to view the historical price action of an asset. Traders look to identify patterns and trends inside the price action in order to develop a bias as to where they think price may go next. They also like to use the price action chart to identify areas where they may be interested in buying or selling an asset. And this technique is known as technical analysis. You can see in my case here that I'm currently set to a daily time frame. This means that each one of these candlesticks down below represents a day of time. If you'd like to change the time frame that you're viewing, you just come right up here, give this a click, then select the time frame from this drop-down menu that you wish to view. So for example, I can click here on the 1 hour time frame. Now I've switched the chart to an hourly time frame. Now each one of these candlesticks represents 1 hour of time. So simply choose the time frame that you wish to view. I'll go ahead and switch us back to a daily, just like so. Over here on the left-hand side is where you'll find some drawing tools. If you don't see your drawing tools, there's a tiny little arrow down here. You'll notice if I give this a click, I can hide the drawing tools, but if I click it again, I'll reveal the drawing tools. Next to each one of these drawing tools is a tiny little arrow. If you give that a click, it'll expand into a drop-down menu where you'll find additional drawing tools. If you'd like to add a drawing tool to the chart, simply start out by left-clicking on the drawing tool you wish to add. So for example, I'll click here on horizontal line. Then come on over here to the chart, and then just left-click where you wish to place it. So let's go ahead and do something like this. And as you can see, I just added a horizontal to the chart. If I want to get rid of it, I can come up here to this little tab and click on this trash icon. As easy as that. If you'd like to add an indicator to your chart, you can come right up here to the indicators tab and give it a click. Then you'll get a little pop-up window where you can add an indicator to the chart by simply left-clicking on it. If there's a specific indicator that you're looking for, you can search for it in the search bar. So let's go ahead and do an RSI like so. And I'll go ahead and click here on the relative strength index. Now I'll close this out. And as you can see, I just added the relative strength index to the bottom of the chart. If I'd like to get rid of that, I'd come right over here and click on this little X. You can also adjust the appearance of your chart by just simply right-clicking on it, then come down here and click on Settings. What I like to do is I like to come over here to the Appearance tab, and I like to get rid of the vertical grid lines as well as horizontal grid lines, as they're just not doing much for my trading style. To do that, you just click on this box here, you'd come down and click on None. Next, I'd like to change the background color to a slightly darker color, and to do that, I'd come up to this little box right here, give it a click, then I'll select the darkest color from this color palette, just like so. And as you can see, I've adjusted the appearance of the chart in the background. And there's all kinds of things you can do here. You can even add a gradient if you want. So if I click here on solid, select gradient. Now we can choose two different colors if we want. So I'll click on this box here. I'll click on a gray color. Then we can click on this one, do a darker color. There's lots you can do with this. So certainly take some time, come on in here and get the chart looking exactly the way that you like it. At any point, you can always come down here and click on template, then click on apply defaults, and you can restore the chart back to its default setting. So I'll go ahead and just quickly retrace my steps here. We'll do a darker color like so. We'll get rid of the vertical and horizontal grid lines like this. Then once you get the chart looking the way that you like it, just come down here and click on OK. When it comes to charting and technical analysis, I prefer to use TradingView, and I'll quickly bring it into frame. Here on TradingView, you have access to way more data, more indicators. You can look at different asset classes, backtest trading strategies. There's just a heck of a lot more that you can do with TradingView. And TradingView is free to use. The free version has a few pop-up advertisements from time to time that can be a little bit distracting, but aside from that, it works perfectly fine. The version of TradingView that I use is a paid version. So at any point, if you want to try a paid plan, you can do that for free for up to 30 days. Then you can make an informed decision if TradingView is a good fit for you or not. So I'll leave a link for TradingView in the description of this video as well as in the pinned comment down below. I also have a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to set up and use TradingView. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description down below for anyone that might find that helpful. And right next to the price action chart is where you'll find your order book. And the order book is showing you where market participants have placed their buy orders and their sell orders. And they're doing that by placing limit orders, which I'll be demonstrating in this tutorial. The first thing I'll show you how to do is how to slow the order book down a little bit. You can see it's jumping around quite a bit here. To do that, just come right up here to the plus sign and give that a few clicks, just like so. And as you can see, the order book is jumping around a lot less. On the top side of the order book in red, we have what's known as the asks. These are the price points that market participants have placed their sell orders at. Down here in green, we have what's known as the bids, and these are the price points that market participants have placed their buy orders at. If we come over here to the price column of the order book, you'll be able to see the price point that market participants have placed their orders at. Here in the amount column, you can see the size of the orders that are placed at that price point. When a trader comes along and executes a market order, they're matched up with the best available price off the order book, and the trade is executed immediately. And you can see these trades being executed in real time right here under trade history. All the buys are coming in green and all the sells are coming in red. In the amount column, you can see the amount of the asset that was traded at that price point. In the price column, you can see the price point the successful trade was executed at. And here in the time column, you can see the time that successful trade went through at. When the market gets really volatile, you'll see a lot of action happening here in the trade history. And right next to trading history is where you'll find your order panel, where you can be a buyer or a seller using limit orders, market orders, and you can set up a stop loss with a stop limit. And I'll demonstrate all of these in this tutorial. First, I'll demonstrate a market order, and these order types are nice and simple. They'll execute immediately at the best available price off of the order book, whether you're a buyer or a seller. But you will pay a higher fee for using market orders, and this is because you're removing liquidity off of the order book versus adding to the order book by placing a limit order. So in other words, you're a market taker. And because of that, you will pay a higher fee for the convenience of a market order. Another thing to be aware of is slippage. And slippage can occur when the price of the asset is moving very quickly, whether that's to the upside or to the downside. So if Ethereum was to suddenly start dumping to the downside really fast, it's going to be chewing up all the bids on the order book very quickly. If Ethereum was to begin to melt to the upside, the inverse is true. It'll be eating up all the asks on the order book very quickly. Remember, market orders execute at the best available price from the order book. So if the price of the asset is moving really fast and chewing up all those orders, you may not get the price point that you intended. And this is what's known as slippage. And typically it's not a very big deal when the market isn't really volatile. To use a market order, just come up here to your order panel and choose if you're going to be a buyer or a seller. I'll start out as a buyer. Next, click on Market. And then from here, we can choose how much of the asset that we wish to buy in this box right here. Or you can click right here, so in my case where it says ETH, and now I have the option to choose how much I wish to spend on the asset versus how much I wish to buy. You'll be able to see your available balance right up here, so you'll know exactly what you're working with. And you can just simply type in a custom amount that you wish to spend. So I could go 20 USDC if I wish. Alternatively, you can use one of these quick options down below. So if I was to click on 25%, I'd be spending 25% of my available balance on Ethereum. If I was to click on Max, I'd be spending my entire available balance on Ethereum. For this demonstration, I'll go ahead and just leave this to 20 USDC. Now we can review some of the details of the order that we intend to place. And you can see right here that Coinbase even estimates your slippage. And in my case here, that'll be 0%. And that's because the market isn't that volatile at the time of making this video. Right here, Coinbase will be estimating your average price. So in my case here, if I was to execute this order right now, I would get an average price point of 1,805 according to the order book. And then down here, Coinbase will also be estimating your fee. So in my case, that would be 0.16 USDC. So check over the details, make sure everything's what you intended. And then if it is, you'd come down here and click on buy. And that order just filled immediately at the best available price off of the order book. If you come down here where it says orders, you'll be able to see the details of your order up at the top here. You'll be able to see right here the average price that you got for your purchase, and you'll be able to see how much of the asset that you purchased right here. And we can see right here that 100% of my order filled. To use a market order to sell, we'll come back up here to the order panel, we'll click on sell, then we'll click on market. Next, we can choose how much of the asset that we wish to sell in this box here. So I'll just go ahead and click here where it says USDC. Now I've toggled this box back to Ethereum, so now I can choose how much Ethereum I wish to sell. And you'll be able to see your available balance of the asset right up here. So once again, we can put in a custom amount. I could do something like this if I wish, or we can just use one of these options down below. For this demonstration, I'll go ahead and click on max. Once again, review the details of your order. If it's what you intended, just come down here and click on sell. And just like that, I sold my Ethereum at the best available price off of the order book. And once again, you can come down here to where it says orders, and you can see the finalized details of the order that you just placed. Next, I'll demonstrate a limit order. Limit orders give you the ability to be a little bit more strategic by choosing a price point that you wish to be a buyer or a price point that you wish to be a seller. But you do need the price of the asset to reach your limit price before your order will fill and execute. With limit orders, you can also save on fees, and that's because you're placing these orders onto the order book for all to see. So in other words, you're a market maker. And exchanges like to incentivize traders to provide liquidity to their order book by using limit orders. And they'll usually do this by charging less in fees for placing limit orders versus market orders. To place a limit order, come back up to your order panel and choose if you're going to be a buyer or a seller. I'll start out as a buyer. Next, click on limit. Now I need to choose a limit price that I wish to place a buy order at. So let's head on over here to the chart. Now let's imagine that we're viewing this chart through the lens of a bull. We can see that Ethereum's made a really nice move to the upside recently, and perhaps we think the price is going to go higher. But maybe we believe that Ethereum's going to pull back before it makes its next big move to the upside. Maybe we think the price of Ethereum is going to come down somewhere around this price action right here before it makes its next move to the upside. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and grab a horizontal here from the drawing tools, and just for the purposes of demonstration, I'll go ahead and mark an area out something like this. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart, correlated to that horizontal, coming in at 1,646. And for the purposes of demonstration, let's imagine that I want to place a buy order at that price point. So what I'll do is I'll come back up here to the order panel and I'll type that into limit price. I'll go 1,646. Now I need to choose the size of my order. Of course, I can do that in this box right here, which is currently set to ETH, which is the asset that I'm trading. So if I want to, I can type in a custom amount of the asset that I wish to purchase if the price of Ethereum was to come down to 1,646, or I can click here where it says ETH, and I can choose how much of my available balance I wish to put into this order. And of course, you'll be able to see your available balance right here, so you'll know exactly what you're working with. So in my case here, I could put 10 USDC into this order, or I can use one of these quick features down below again. For this demonstration, I'll just go ahead and put 20 USDC into this order. The next thing that I like to do with limit orders is I like to come down here where it says execution, and I like to make sure that this box is set to post only. You'll notice if I give this a click, there's also an option for allow taker. Now, if you're placing a limit order onto the order book, most of the time, it'll fill as a maker order. But sometimes a limit order can fill as a taker order, which is similar to a market order. And of course, when that happens, you pay a higher fee. So whenever I'm using limit orders, I like to set it to post only. That guarantees me that my limit order can only be filled as a maker order, which means that I'll be saving on fees for using this order type. So I like to make sure that my execution is set to post only. And just below that, you'll notice it says time in force. And this box is currently set to good till canceled. And most traders will use that option. And this means that your order will stay on the order book until it either fills or you manually cancel it. If you click on this box, you'll notice that there's a couple other options. You can set good till time, and this is going to put a time limit on your limit order. You can see right here, it says cancel after 1 minute. If we click on this box, we can also choose 1 hour or 1 day. If we come back to time in force and give it a click, you'll see that it also has an option for immediate or cancel. This means either the order fills immediately or it gets canceled. In this situation here, my limit order is not going to fill immediately because I'm placing it down at 1,646 and Ethereum is currently trading at 1,807. So I wouldn't be using this option for this particular limit order. So for me personally, I like to use good till canceled. That way, my limit order stays on the order book until it either fills or I come back and manually cancel it. So I'm just going to click here on allow taker, make sure that's set to post only as well. Next, you can review the details of your order and you'll be able to see your fee right here. So in my case, that would be 0.12 USDC. And if everything's set up the way that you intended, just come down here and click on buy. Now I've placed that limit order to buy Ethereum onto the order book at the price point of 1,646. So if the price of Ethereum starts to work its way to the downside and hits my price point of 1,646, this order is going to fill and I'll be buying myself a little bit of Ethereum. You'll be able to see the details of your limit order on the order book if you come down here under orders, and it'll be right here up at the top. And if we come right over here underneath status, you can see that my limit order is currently open. If at any point you'd like to manually cancel your limit order, just click on your order. You'll get a pop-up window, and right down here at the bottom, you can click here where it says cancel order. And just like that, I canceled the order and removed it off of the order book. Of course, we can use a limit order to sell our crypto as well. To get that done, we'll come back up here to the order panel, we'll click on sell, Then we'll click on limit. Now I need to choose a price point to place a sell order at. So let's head back on over here to the chart. I'll just go ahead and zoom it out with the wheel of my mouse, just like so. Now let's imagine that we're viewing this chart through the lens of a bear. Sure, we can see that Ethereum's had a really nice move lately to the upside, seems to be flagging out, and maybe Ethereum makes one more attempt to the upside before ultimately rolling over and then moving back to the downside. Maybe we think the price of Ethereum is going to come up somewhere around this pivot right here. And perhaps we want to try to place a sell order somewhere around that level. So what I'll do is I'll grab a horizontal here from the drawing tools, and let's just go ahead and mark out these candle bodies, something like this. And just for the purposes of demonstration, let's imagine that I want to place an order to sell my Ethereum up at that horizontal. Of course, I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart coming in at 2007. And perhaps I want to place my sell order at that price point. So I'll come back over here to the order panel and I'll type that into limit price. I'll go 2007. Next, I need to choose the size of my sell order. And of course, we can do that in this box right here, which is currently set to USDC. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a click. And now I've reset the box to Ethereum. So now I can choose how much of the asset that I want to put into this sell order. And right up at the top, you'll be able to see your available balance of the asset that you're looking to place a sell order for. So once again, you can type in a custom amount of the asset into this box right here that you wish to sell, or use one of the quick features down below. For this demonstration, I'll go ahead and just click on max. Then I'll make sure the execution is set to post only, double check the details of your order, and if it's what you intended, come on down here and click on sell ETH. Now I just placed that sell order onto the order book at the price point of 2007. So if Ethereum manages to make another leg to the upside, reaching my price point at 2007, this order is going to fill, and I'd be selling my Ethereum. I can find the details of my limit order down here under orders, and right at the top is where you can see the details of the limit order. Over here under status, I can confirm that this order is currently open. This order is going to stay on the order book until it either fills or I manually cancel it. To cancel it, just click on the order. You'll get this pop-up window here, and down at the bottom, click on cancel order. And just like that, I took that order off of the order book. So as you can see, limit orders do give you the ability to be a little bit more strategic by choosing price points that you wish to be a buyer or a seller. And you can often save on fees when using limit orders as well. But you do need the price of the asset to cooperate. For example, in my buying scenario, maybe Ethereum doesn't retrace down to my buy order. Maybe it just takes off from here. And of course I'd miss out on that because my order down here at 1,646 failed to fill. Or maybe Ethereum does work its way to the downside, hits my price target at 1,646, my order fills, but then Ethereum just collapses through this level and moves to the downside. That would obviously put me at a loss. In the selling scenario, maybe Ethereum does begin to work its way to the upside, but rolls over somewhere in here and then moves to the downside. Of course, that's going to put me at a loss because my order never got filled at 2007 and I'd still be holding on to my Ethereum. Or maybe Ethereum does work its way up, hits the price target of 2007, my order fills, selling my Ethereum, but then Ethereum just melts through that level and moves to the upside. And of course, I'd miss out on that because I just recently sold my Ethereum at the price level of 2007. So a couple basic considerations when choosing if a limit order is appropriate for you. But that's how you can place a limit order. Now I'll show you how you can set up a stop loss by using a stop limit order. So to get this done, we'll come back up here to the order panel and we'll click on sell. Then click on stop limit. The first thing we need to do is choose a stop price. And this is going to be a price point that tells Coinbase to place a limit order to sell our coins. So let's head on over here to the chart and I'll just go ahead and zoom it in with the wheel of my mouse. And let's imagine that I just bought myself some Ethereum. And maybe I want to set up a stop price somewhere just below this red wick right here. So what I'll do is I'll come up here to the drawing tools, I'll grab a horizontal like so, and I'll mark an area out just below that red wick, maybe something like this. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart, correlating to that horizontal coming in at 1,742. And let's imagine that I want to use that price point as my stop price to tell Coinbase to place a limit order to sell my coins. So what I'll do is I'll come back over here to the order panel and I'll type that into stop price, 1,742. So if the price of Ethereum comes down to 1,742, that's going to trigger Coinbase to place a limit order to sell my coins. So now I need to choose a limit price. So let's come back on over here to the chart, and just for the purposes of demonstration, let's imagine that I want to set a limit price somewhere just below this green wick right here. Once again, I'll grab a horizontal here from the drawing tools, and I'll mark out an area just below that green wick, maybe something like this. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart coming in at 1,722. And let's imagine that I want to use that price point as my limit price. So we'll come back over here to the order panel and I'll type that in. So we'll go 1,722. Now there's a couple things to know about this. The first thing is I like to leave a little bit of breathing room between my stop price and my limit price. I want to make sure that Coinbase has enough time to sell my coins if my stop price gets hit. I don't want the asset getting below my limit price before Coinbase has the chance to sell my coins. The price of crypto can move very quickly, so if your limit price is too close to your stop price, you run the risk of the asset's price getting below your limit price before Coinbase has a chance to place your order. If that happens, your stop loss won't work. Coinbase is lightning fast when placing these orders, but it's something that I don't like to leave to chance. So I like to leave a little bit of breathing room to increase the probability of my stop loss working as intended. The second thing to know is if your stop price gets hit, your coins are going to sell for your limit price or better. If there's a better price point available on the order book when your stop price gets hit, your coins will sell for a higher price. So you can be comfortable leaving a little bit of breathing room between your limit price and your stop price. If there's a better price available when your stop price gets hit, your coins will sell for the better price. Now that I've chosen my stop price as well as my limit price, I need to choose how much of the asset that I wish to sell if my stop loss was to get hit. And for this demonstration, I'll just go ahead and click on max. Now that I have this order set up the way that I want it, I'm going to come down here and click on sell. Now I'm getting a little stop limit alert right here confirming the details of my stop limit. So if your stop limit is what you intended, you just confirm it by clicking here on place order. Now I've placed that stop limit order. So if Ethereum does start working its way to the downside and hits my stop price at 1,742, my Ethereum is going to be sold at the limit price of 1,722 or better if there's a better price available on the order book when my stop price gets hit. You can see the details of your stop limit if you come down here under orders, and you can see my stop limit right here up at the top. Over here under status, you can see that it's currently active. If at any point you want to cancel your stop limit, just click on it. You'll get this pop-up window here. Come on down here and click on cancel order. And as you can see, I just removed that stop limit. If you'd like to learn more about the fees when trading on Coinbase Advance, you can find those details right over here, right next to estimate fee. If you hover over this little button right here, you'll get a little pop-up. And as you can see, fees are 0.6 for maker orders. So that's if you're placing limit orders with post only selected, and 0.8% for taker orders. And taker orders are if you're placing market orders. The more you trade with, the more you can save on fees. So if we click right here where it says view fee summary, this will bring us over to a page where we can look at the different fee structures. And as you can see down here under pricing tier, that the more you trade with, the more you're going to be saving on fees. And there you have it, your introduction to using Coinbase Advanced Mode. Don't forget to leave me a like and hit subscribe. Also feel free to check out some of my other Coinbase tutorials, which I've put together in a playlist on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.